The wheels on the bus go round and round. Oops, wrong channel. But what would actually happen if the wheels on the bus spun out of control? Mayhem, that's what. Total and utter chaos. Just imagine the wreckage. Similarly, when a person goes rogue, he will for sure wreak havoc. Even people with the firmest hold on their self-control are bound to slip up sometimes, at least once in their lives. But do athletes, known for their strong stamina and self-discipline, go out of control too? Here's the thing, athletes are people too. That said, it shouldn't come as a surprise that one of USA's very much loved track and field athletes, Sha'Carri Richardson, is officially out of control. What happened? Well, wait a minute. Let's talk about who Sha'Carri Richardson is first for the people in the back. And by that, I mean those who don't know who Richardson is. But let's make it quick. Simply put, Sha'Carri Richardson is both famous and controversial. Richardson is an American track and field sprinter who competes in the 100 meters and 200 meters. In 2019, Richardson rose to fame as a freshman at Louisiana State University, running 10.75 seconds to break the 100-meter record at the National Collegiate Athletic Association Championships. That said, Richardson is a one-time NCAA champion, as well as a one-time Pan American U20 champion. Of course, those aren't all her awards. She has a long list of them, but suffice it to say, she's the 6th fastest woman in history. And that's nothing to sneeze at, you know? That itself would make her famous. But Richardson has dropped a series of bombs throughout the years. Now think of a bomb. Is that a good thing or not? While it may depend on the context, most bombs from Richardson can't be seen in a good light. For one, Richardson still doesn't have an Olympic award, regardless of the standing, and not for lack of trying. She almost had the chance to, you know. But what happened instead? Sha'Carri Richardson missed the 2021 Tokyo Olympics because of a month-long suspension over a positive marijuana test. Imagine being just a few more steps away from the Olympics, which only most athletes can dream of, only to lose that chance in the blink of an eye with what could be considered a misstep. What a pity. But what actually happened? Well, I was just getting to that. In a recent interview, Richardson revealed that she used marijuana to cope with her biological mother's death, which left her in a state of emotional panic. Just so you know, Richardson was abandoned by her mother, so her grandmother and her aunt raised her. That said, it wasn't really much of a surprise that Richardson was affected by her mother's death. Even estranged, family will always be family, you know? As they say, blood is thicker than water. Well, after that very unfortunate incident, you'd think Richardson would have learned her lesson and stayed away from controversial situations, which she didn't. How so? Well, in January, Richardson was ejected from a flight after arguing with a flight attendant. In a series of posts and stories on her official Instagram, Richardson shared that she was wronged as a male flight attendant asked her to get off a phone call, which she supposedly did before telling him that she didn't like his tone. In the end, Richardson was asked to leave the American Airlines plane, while people clapped as she moved to get off the plane. Do you think it was a Karen moment? To make matters worse, Sha'Carri Richardson received so much hate in late March when World Athletics, through a tweet, said 100-meter clash at Gaborone Meet on the 29th of April at It's Carey versus at Real Shelly-Ann FP. Of course, avid sports fans weren't about to let it pass that Richardson was compared to Abby Steiner. For them, Abby Steiner is the Abby Steiner, while Sha'Carri Richardson is simply Sha'Carri Richardson. And I don't think I need to explain the difference. A fan even pointed out, 19 major gold wins between them, all 19 won by Shelly. Miss Richardson has won one gold medal that is Pan American U20 that was won in Trujillo, Peru. Well, oof. It didn't help matters any when Sha'Carri Richardson was outclassed by Abby Steiner at the Texas Relays 2023 earlier this month. At the said event, track and field superstars Sha'Carri Richardson and Abby Steiner battled to the finish in the women's 4x100 meter relay, with barely seconds separating them from first and second place. Abby Steiner, joined by Melissa Jefferson, Jenna Pradini, and Elia Hobbs, to no surprise finished first place with a 41.75 result. Meanwhile, Sha'Carri Richardson, joined by Javianne Oliver, Twanisha Terry, and Tiana Daniels, finished second place with a time of 42.10. As I said, Abby Steiner is the Abby Steiner. Although Richardson received so much hate, some she didn't even deserve, many fans are still willing to fight online battles on her behalf. Perhaps one of the reasons why Sha'Carri Richardson is very much loved by many is because she embodies what most women aspire to be, someone who doesn't give a rat's ass about what society has to say. In fact, she is known for her flaming colors, both in what she wears as well as the color of her hair. Simply put, Richardson stands out and is not ashamed to let herself shine. We love an unapologetic queen. Another reason why Richardson is receiving so much love is that she's happily part of the LGBTQ community. Sha'Carri Richardson came out as bisexual and is very unapologetic about her sexuality. I know this is a controversial issue, but please don't come at me for this. Anyway, perhaps the best reason why Sha'Carri Richardson is receiving so much love is that as a young woman of color in the spotlight, she's expressed her desire to help those in need. In fact, Richardson works for Oak Cliff, a development program that helps youth who are systematically oppressed as a development associate. Well, that's certainly commendable. That said, Sha'Carri Richardson is someone many believe to be an inspiration. But despite, or perhaps because of this, Richardson is now officially out of control. But don't worry, I meant that in a good way. Yeah, you heard that right. At the recently concluded Miramar Invitational in South Florida, Sha'Carri Richardson ran a blistering 100 meters, outshining everyone else. At the said event, Richardson, competing in her first individual 100-meter race, clocked wind-assisted 10.57 seconds, the fourth fastest time in history. And that's in all conditions of 10.57 seconds, 4.1 meters per second tailwind. Notably, Elaine Thompson-Herah ran a 10.54 in 2021, and Florence Griffith Joyner holds the record with a 10.49 that she ran in 1988. Like, how? These athletes are for sure amazing, and I mean amazing. Richardson's time equates to 10.77 with zero wind assistance. This shows that she can definitely make her presence felt, as she will attempt to outrun the all-conquering Jamaicans at the World Championships in Budapest in August. Let's see, but let's cross our fingers for now. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Sha'Carri Richardson is meant to stand out this season, especially after she won her first race in the 2023 season with a record time where Richardson even celebrated by tossing her arms in the air at the last few meters of the race. In fact, Richardson took an early lead in the short race, passing two of the top three finishers at last year's US Championships, TT Terry and Melissa Jefferson. That's something, you know? Especially since Melissa Jefferson is a world champion and a national champion, while TT Terry is a world champion as well. So outrunning those two is definitely something. Great job, Sha'Carri. Unfortunately though, Richardson's time is ineligible for any official world records because the race occurred with a 4.1 meter per second tailwind. Anything greater than 2 meters per second is deemed to be aided by the wind. Still, Richardson, who failed to make the finals at the 100 meters and 200 meters at the USA Track and Field Outdoor Championships in 2022, which subsequently eliminated her chances of competing at the World Athletic Championships, appears to be striving really hard, enough to make 2023 her year. For now, Sha'Carri Richardson seems to be going in the right direction, but she should be very cautious in order to stay that way. I know it's not fair to judge someone by their past, but her past blunders aren't something that can be brushed off easily. It would be really disappointing if she ended up doing something again that will put an instant halt to her amazing progress so far. Let's cross our fingers and make sure to watch out for her progress this season. Meanwhile, watch this to see Abby Steiner shine brighter than ever this season.